Hey guys, please pardon my voice, I'm still getting over being sick, but welcome to Turtles Week. I'm so excited to be doing this series. I've been looking forward to it pretty much since I started this channel. I know I've only been on for about a month, but I'm still super excited. I've been looking forward to this. I've had it planned for a while, so I'm super excited. So basically, let me remind you what I'm doing, just in case you don't know. Every single day leading up to this Friday, I'm going to be doing a Ninja Turtles movie review. So instead of doing my normal series or my normal reviews or my normal trailer reviews, I'm going to be doing a movie review of every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that's come out thus far. There are 5. The 6th will be coming out on Friday. So next week will be the official end of Turtles Week with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. So let's get started with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film that came out in 1990. Actually, you know what, first, let me preface this video, and I'll probably add it to all of my other videos as well. These films are in no way critically acclaimed whatsoever. Their scores on like Rotten Tomatoes are terrible, but I love these films. They're nostalgic for me. I grew up on these films, and I will see every Ninja Turtles film to the end of my days. But I'm super excited to be talking about the old ones. I never got a chance to before, really, so let's get started again with the first one. Really quick, I also want to let you guys know that the Ninja Turtles have changed throughout time. Originally, they were a comic book series that grew into an 80s kids television show, and that's the majority where the popularity of the series came from. And then it got developed into the movies, which we know today. And all the way up till their massive CGI counterparts that we are getting with this new movie, or past movie. So the way they've been interpreted has changed through time, more or less. I mean, they've been in video games, comics, TV, movies. They're essentially a very pop culture thing, but they're a creature of pop culture, but they've also changed with it, which I think is really interesting. But let's get to the movie review really quick. So this film follows the basic outline of almost every Ninja Turtles series. But with this one, the Ninja Turtles, well, the basic outline of the Ninja Turtles is that they are 4 turtles and a rat, their master Splinter, who get exposed to this ooze in the sewers that mutates them. They become big, they become like intelligent, cognitive. Master Splinter teaches them martial arts. They fight crime and like gangs on the street of New York. They meet April O'Neil, who's a reporter. They get her help off and on. They meet Casey Jones, who's a vigilante, more or less, who wears a hockey mask and uses sporting equipment as his weapons. Their main villain is the Shredder, who I don't really know how to describe the Shredder. He just wants to take over New York and defeat the Turtles. Also, he runs the Foot Clan, which is essentially a gang. Think of Shredder and the Ninja Turtle, or Shredder and the Foot Clan as more or less like Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers. He more or less tells them what to do. They go out and execute it. That's basically the premise of that whole section. But they basically fight each other. Ninja Turtles get into some other stuff, such as like space travel, the Krang, which is coming up in the new film, which I'll get to eventually. But they go on all sorts of adventures. But that's the main story of Ninja Turtles. And that's essentially what happens in this film. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of diversion from the original sort of story. The biggest sort of diversion, I guess, is that there's a kid named Danny who's joining the Foot Clan. Now, Danny is actually April's boss's son. So she's trying to get him out of it. Once she meets the Ninja Turtles in her weird way where she freaks out that she's meeting like cognitive turtles, giant turtles. She enlists their help. They try and get him out of it. They fight the Foot Clan and Shredder. There's a whole story to it, but I mean, that's the main story here. But something that this film had that surprised me the most, and even rewatching it still today, reminds me that these characters have heart. This film has heart. There's moments that come through. I mean, these guys, the Turtles are guys who wearing like, not necessarily, they're not morph suits, they're but like foam or latex suits. These are big, heavy, clunky suits. And just the fact that so much emotion comes through, that they got to come through these lifeless things. It's so amazing. Like, these guys feel real. They feel real to me. Their movements, their emotions, the way they speak, everything is very realistic. Um, their personalities are on point. Michelangelo was perfect as always. Well, not always, but he's as quirky as always. Donatello is smart and intelligent. Raphael is always pissed off. And Leonardo is just doing his best to lead his brothers. Um, but I mean, they did such a good job of making these characters real. And again, just watching it today, it's so crazy to see. Although it's 90s and it's not a perfect film by any standpoint, it's great to see the amount of effort that was put in, the amount of love that was put into these characters in making this film. And it's phenomenal to see that today, especially when we live in a society where they're just pushing out as many comic book movies as they can, and they're just trying to pump out as much as they can to get people to join and like a franchise. These guys weren't about that. They were just about four brothers fighting crime, and like it's amazing to see now. And this was a film that came out just 1 year after 1989 Tim Burton's Batman. Now their budgets were massively different. Batman had a budget of probably like 80, 90 million dollars. But these guys did such an amazing job with such a significantly lower budget. They're very different films, but they're both comic book films, and the amount that both achieved is phenomenal. So, guys, along with some things talking about the film, I've also found some facts to share with you guys I think are actually interesting and I add to the overall nostalgia factor of the film, that add to letting you know how creative they were with this film. So it's just some little fun nuggets of information that really help recognize this film for being so spectacular, and even though it is really ridiculous looking back on it now. So let's do that list really quick. Fun fact number one, this is actually considered an independent film. The budget was extremely low. Almost no major studio would back them because of fear that something would happen to a film similar called Masters of the Universe. It bombed dramatically. So no studio really wanted to pick up a comic book franchise, especially something like Ninja Turtles that was, in concept, sounds extremely weird. Like Donald Glover says, sounds like a homeless person's fever dream. Nobody really wanted to back it. So this film was a very low budget. No major studio would really back it. At the time, the only studio that really backed it, other than like some independent production companies, was New Line Cinema, which actually itself was just starting. So they took a big leap of faith. Everyone took a massive leap of faith into this film, and it actually paid off so many times over, it's ridiculous. Fun fact number two is actually related to the last fact. The amount of money that this film was made with, it was made with $13 million, which again, it still sounds like a lot now, because it is. But in the grand scope of how much money a movie is made with now, it's minimal. It's very, very small. But the amount of money that this movie made overall at the box office is bananas. It made over $200 million domestically and internationally combined. That it was like 135 million domestic and like 66 million international. That's bananas. For a $13 million movie, these characters brought enough love and like fun that everyone wanted to see it. They loved to see it. They were intrigued after like the 80s kids cartoon. That was the big selling point. But this film delivered on so many levels. I mean, it made so much more than the budget because so much love was put into it. And that's just an amazing thing to me. That so much love was put into a film and people responded to it. It's awesome to see that. Fun fact number three. This film, the characters' suits of Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, as well as, I believe, Splinter, was actually made by Jim Henson's Creature Shop in London. Now, Jim Henson, if you don't know, created the Muppets and pretty much most of Sesame Street. That's amazing, guys. I mean, the guy who created the Muppets, his studio at least, made the Ninja Turtles costumes. That's really cool to me. I don't know why. Now, Jim Henson's studio wasn't super excited to be contributing to the Ninja Turtles because it was a lot more violent than like the Muppets, obviously. But it wasn't like they still helped out. Like that's really cool. That's such a big sort of studio, a big well-known creature shop helped create what we know as the Ninja Turtles today. That's so insane, and that's super cool. Fun fact number 4. The men who play the Ninja Turtles inside of the suits got cameos throughout the film. So the guy who played Leonardo got a little cameo, the guy who played Raphael got a little cameo as themselves in the film. So there would be a scene where Raphael jumped over a cab, and they would show you the guys in the cab. The guy that would be sitting in the back seat was the guy that played Raphael. That's super cool. The studio, the director, whoever decided to do that was super awesome because that's something that most people regret nowadays. I mean, take for example like something like Deadpool nowadays. The guy who played the CG Colossus, the guy who stood in the suit with all the dots on him, probably got no credit anywhere in the entire film, even though Deadpool is amazing. But the fact that they let these individuals shine as themselves, again, such a super cool, tiny little nod to them, just for all the effort of having to be in these probably super sweaty suits, probably super heavy. Again, super cool of them to do that. Finally, fun fact number 5, the Turtles scenes in which they're in the suits actually were filmed in a slower frame rate than the rest of the film. This was because that the scenes were a lot heavier and in the normal speed, they looked a lot more clunky. They didn't really look like they were smooth or like making smooth actions or like tiny little mistakes would happen. They actually filmed it in a slower frame rate, so in post-production they sped it up a little bit and it looked a lot more fluid. That's really cool. I mean, that's such a little production trick that maybe now wouldn't work because there's so much CG, that there's so much little like tweaks people can make in post-production, but like After Effect type of things. But the fact that they did this because they didn't have all that technology at their disposal at the time, I think is really cool. Especially coming from a digital background myself, I think that the amount of technical work that it took to make this film was just phenomenal. Alright guys, given that this film was made in the greatest year ever, 1990, I have to give it an overall grade of a B. Now, the reason I have to give it a B, it's not my favorite Ninja Turtle movie, but it was the original. There's something very special about that. This film started something great. I mean, it spawned with this style of characters 2 more movies, which were very close together. The fact that they created this massive world, these super intricate costumes and characters on such a low budget, again, phenomenal. They did such a great job. I won't say the acting is phenomenal. The Turtles acting is a lot better, I think, than the actual people's acting. It was 1990. Like, acting wasn't, like, superb, like, at its height at the time. There weren't Oscar-winning performances by any means, but they were phenomenal. There was something very special about this movie. I mean, it's just such a great movie to watch. It's so much fun. There's so much adventure. There's a lot of heart. There's a time or two of heartbreak. And it's so cool to watch these guys develop and interact with each other and see them live. And like I said, it's super special. So it at least deserves a grade of a B in my mind, just from the effort and the heart alone. Well, guys, that's all I have for the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out in 1990. Let me know what you guys think about this movie or any other Turtles things in the comments below. Like always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the week. Hopefully, as my videos progress, my voice will become a lot better. You'll be able to understand me a little bit more, which will be nice. My love for these guys is so immense. I can't wait to go on to the next film. Number 2 is my absolute favorite of the series. I'll get to that in the next film, or next video. But thank you very much for watching. Like always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.